This part. In certain critical ways, the NFL is racially segregated and is managed much like a plantation. Its 32 owners, none of whom are black, profit substantially from the labor of NFL players, 70% of whom are black. The owners watch the games from atop NFL stadiums in their luxury boxes, while their majority black workforce put their bodies on the line every Sunday, taking vicious hits and suffering debilitating injuries to their bodies and their brains, while the NFL and its owners reap billions of dollars. It's true. It is true. The NFL is incredibly exploitative. It's gotten better over the years, but it's still fucking horrible. Okay? The idea that like we have the idea that they are standing in front of like actual fucking critical CTE research and because that means that it'll hurt their fucking bottom line when we find out that like, you know, being concussed every goddamn weekend is probably not good for you and it ends up making you do mass murders because your brain is fucking broken. You know, that's not good for the NFL. So we can't have that.
You're happy for them. Then offered to babysit sometime.
They farm Pop Warner Little Leagues too. It's fucked. Yeah, I mean, of course they do. So yeah, the NFL to the CTE is like ExxonMobil with climate change. Like they've known for a very long time and they fucking have stood in front of it for a very long time. Oh, here, this was the Raiders tweet. I can breathe. Oh, God. Anyway, this is when you're trying to be... This is the least racist NFL owner, by the way.
Turn it up.
Ah! That's what he looks like. Billionaire, by the way. Flies in his private jet to get that haircut, by the way. Personally. Okay. So let's continue.
Dolphins fired Flores last month after back-to-back winning seasons, but the team failed to make the playoffs. The lawsuit even accuses Dolphins owner Stephen Ross of offering to pay Flores $100,000 for every loss during the 2019 season to secure a higher draft pick.
There are a lot of accusations that obviously he has been holding on to, and he decided that he was going to file that lawsuit, which was filed today, again, seeking unspecified damages.
Flores also claims the NFL and certain teams discriminated against him and other black coaches, saying he was subjected to sham interviews, only held so teams could satisfy league rules about interviewing minority candidates. The complaint revealed...
And that's precisely what happened. Like, it's exactly what happened. He got a text message from Bill Belichick that thought that he thought he was texting the right Brian or the other dude who ended up getting the fucking position over him a week before he actually interviewed for the position. It was like, yeah, congratulations on your new position, okay? And he went in. Yeah, Brian DeBool, I don't know how you say it, whatever. He went into the fucking interview knowing that he hadn't gotten the position. How crazy is that? Dable? Okay, I don't care.
Reveals text messages Flores received from Patriots coach Bill Belichick last week, where Belichick indicates the Giants already gave the head coaching job to another white coach 3 days before Flores was scheduled to interview with the team.
The fact that you have to have a rule to interview minority coaches is a problem. That's the problem. It's to create this whole utopia that everybody is equal in the NFL.
70% of NFL players are black, but there are no black owners, and after Flores' firing, only one black head coach. In a statement, the NFL said it will defend, quote, against these claims, which are...
It's just pretty funny because, like, they fired the one black coach for being too good.
...are without merit. Adding the NFL and our clubs are deeply committed to ensuring equitable employment practices. The teams named in the lawsuit include the Dolphins and Giants. They have denied any wrongdoing. There has been a long discussion about the...
How exactly does the NFL know that it is without merit? Anyway, let's continue. Hold on.
Discrepancy between how many black players are on the field and the number of black coaches. And there's been a push to get more diversity in the coaching departments, in the front office.
And so now we have lawsuits for a coach that's come out saying I have 2 winning seasons, and we're not getting equal opportunity as black coaches.
Yeah, he says he knows he's possibly risking his career by doing this, but he wants to make sure that his stance against systemic racism will lead to positive change for generations to come. So we will see.
We'll be following that story.
God damn, it's so loud. George Stephanopoulos, you loud bitch. So we already talked about the Rooney Rule. The rule is named after Dan Rooney, the former owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers and former chairman of the league's diversity committee. It was created as a reaction to the 2002 firing of head coaches Tony Dungy of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Dennis Green of the Minnesota Vikings at a time when Dungy had a winning record and Green had just had his first losing season in 10 years. Shortly afterwards, U.S. civil rights attorneys, Cyrus Mary and Johnny Cochran released a study showing that black head coaches, despite winning a higher percentage of games, were less likely to be hired and more likely to be fired than their white counterparts. So it's not even like this is not new to the NFL. Like, they literally set this bullshit ass rule up specifically for this fucking reason. Okay? I'm going to say all the names wrong. I don't know anything about football other than stuff like this, and I find it very funny and interesting when stuff like this happens. Okay? So yeah, when the Rooney Rule came out, there were 3 black head coaches, and now there is 1. So I don't know if it worked, bro. I don't know if the rule worked. And here is former Cincinnati Bengals head coach Marvin Lewis seconding Brian Flores' claim that black coaches were receiving sham interviews for NFL teams. Lewis says he interviewed for the Carolina Panthers when John Fox had already been picked.
The job, and I can recall that we had lost to the Steelers in the second round of the playoffs, and I remember sitting home on Monday, and I think it was Chris Mortensen or someone else reported that Foxy would be named the head coach of the Panthers on Friday. And when I went to work Tuesday, Brian came in and said, "Hey, I just got off the phone with Ozzie, and the Panthers want you to come down and interview for the job." I said, "Coach, I just heard last night on TV that they're going to name Foxy the coach on Friday." He said, so he goes back, he talks to Ozzie, talks to the people, and I end up.
He was not fired because he won too much, as that was 3 seasons ago. He was fired because he wanted a new QB, but ownership did not.
Going down to Charlotte and so forth and meeting with the Richardson family, and they said that wasn't true and so forth, and they named John the head coach on Friday. So
this is just another queer fighter pilot argument. It does nothing for the working class. What? Do we need more black owners so they can extort money for the new stadiums out of cities? Fuck the whole thing. So I've talked about this before. Like representative politics that specifically pluck like a singular person from a marginalized background and elevate them are Band-Aid solutions, okay? And that the ultimate goal is still to offer material restitution and provide material equality, okay, to all Americans, to all workers around the world, right? So a lot of this stuff is just aesthetic liberalism, okay? It's just purely aesthetic liberalism. It doesn't really do anything. It is just, you're just like looking out singularly for whatever individual is actually good for that job. But it doesn't matter because like when we're talking about coaching positions, when we're talking about coaching positions, when we're talking about like front office positions, executive positions, management positions, like it does address a need, right? If 70% of your workforce, your primary labor force is black, and then you have no fucking black people in managerial positions or very little black people in managerial positions, and you don't have any black people in like executive positions or ownership positions, then, you know, they're not going to address any of the needs of their workforce from the point of view of like systemic racism or discrimination that they're facing. So it's still like a minor step towards progress. It's not the end all be all of progress. I'll never say that. Oh man, if we have more black coaches, like that's going to be so much better. Like it's not. That's not the final solution for racism, right? But it's still a step towards it's still a step towards ultimately making the labor force or understanding the desires and needs of your labor force. Okay, that's what I mean. Because you're just adding. Don't say final solution. Oh, sorry. Okay, well, you know what I mean. This happened in Tampa in 2010, Detroit in 2017, and Arizona in 2018. NFL teams routinely fire competent or good black coaches to hire mediocre to bad white ones.
Another month of avoiding the top of the hour ad.
It's almost like how there are communities that are 85% black or more, and the police for the community are 95% white. Wanting more black cops while wanting less policing is still a good thing. No. I think wanting more cops from the neighborhood that they police is a little bit different than just saying we want more black cops. More often than not, that means that they will be from the same neighborhoods. But no, more black cops or a more diverse police force is not going to end police brutality. It's a little bit different because the relationship between cops and the people that they police are a contentious one, whereas the relationship between a coach and its players is not. Thank you, Coffee Dave, for the 5 get the subs. Thank you, Burkini Kill, for the 5 get the subs. Having more black cops does not address issues of police brutality. Having more cops come from the same community that they're policing, however, will actually, it won't end police brutality, but it will eliminate some of the police brutality. Don't say nope. That's 100% true. Okay. It's a fundamental part of community policing. It's a fundamental part of what do you call it? It's a fundamental part of like actually policing your own neighborhood. It just straight up. If you're from that community, you don't fucking treat every single person that you are supposedly policing like an occupying force, okay? Anyway, and no, POC cops are not nicer in general. Like I said, police should absolutely be from the districts that they are policing, okay? A big part of police brutality comes from having these fucking cursory neighborhoods where all the cops live in, which is an entirely separate district that is getting all the fucking taxpayer funded salaries to pump into a completely different district that now has way better fucking schooling, way better education. They're outsiders that are policing a community without recognizing the underlying needs of that community. That is the big issue. POC cops don't actually, if they're still in those fucking reactionary neighborhoods, they still behave like fucking invading, occupying forces. It doesn't matter. And in a lot of instances, POC cops will then turn around and fucking, overcompensate for their background too. So it's not, it's not about that at all. Okay, let's just continue with this.
I don't know. Again, that's the situation I was in. But you have to go and prove that you're worthy to become the head coach. And and it's you're appreciative of the opportunity, but what was supposedly going to happen ended up happening in that case for sure.
Don't you think that would increase the corruption rate if every cop lives in the district? What? No, what corruption rate? Policing as an institution is fundamentally fucking broken in our capitalist organization of the economy, okay? That's number one. So you have to do a fucking complete overhaul of the way policing works currently. What I'm simply suggesting as far as like having people be from the fucking neighborhoods that they actually police would be a small step towards actual tangible progress, not necessarily solving the problem itself.
What's up, my man?
But it's not one that you can solve with like, oh, more black cops. That's going to solve the issue. But if you're talking about corruption, like the institution is corrupt from the top down, okay? Speaking of the top of the hour ad break is not a corrupt institution, especially when you have a counterforce against it, which is, of course, the $5 a month subscription. Now, of course, some of you don't have $5 a month to pay for the subscription, but at least you have Twitch Prime. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get one free Prime subscription a month. And even if you don't have that, maybe you're lucky enough to get gifted a sub, like one of the 5 that Coffee Dave or Burkini Kill just gifted. Okay? But if you're not lucky, you got to make your own luck by stealing someone else's Amazon Prime and connecting it to your Twitch account. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. Let's continue with the story.
I just want to say thank you. So last week, I interviewed for the Giants position. I was set to interview on Thursday, the Monday prior. Before I interviewed, I received a text message from Bill Belichick saying congratulations on the Giants, essentially congratulations on the Giants job. There was a little bit of back and forth.
How fucking sad is that? Sounds like you've landed. Congrats. Did you hear something I didn't hear? Giants? I interview on Thursday. Womp womp. I think I have a shot at it.
There was some back and forth and
some confusion because you haven't sat down with the Giants yet.
I have not sat down with the
Got
Giants.
it. I hear from Buffalo and NYG that you are their guy. Hope it works out if you want it too. That's definitely what I want. Hope you're right, Coach. Thank you. Coach, are you talking to Brian Flores or Brian DeBall? Just making sure.
Back and forth, and I asked him, "Is this, you talking to the right Brian?" As you've seen through the text messages, he was actually thought he was texting Brian Daboll,
who they ended up hiring.
Yes, sir.
So at that point, how did that make you feel, knowing that you were walking into an interview where a decision might have already been made?
It was a range of emotions: humiliation, disbelief, anger. I've worked so hard to get to where I am in football, to become a head coach. Put 18 years in this league, and it was to go on what was going to be what felt like, or what was a sham interview. I was hurt. And,
but you wouldn't knowing.
Dude, it's so fucking sad. Like, can you imagine? You're like a fucking successful coach. You have an awesome opportunity. Okay, you think that this like institution wants you. You think this fucking institution wants you. You think you're like going up for a position and they're going to do what's right and like give you the time of day and actually interview you. Meanwhile, the position has already been fucking hired and they're only interviewing you because of some fucking lip service thing called the Rooney Rule. Like, they're literally only interviewing you because you're black for like a second. How fucking disgusting is that, dude? Like, that sucks. That absolutely fucking sucks.
That you probably weren't going to get it. Why did you continue to go?
I think
Flores wasn't even a bad head coach. He wanted Justin Herbert or QB, but management took Tua Tagovailoa, and then Stephen Ross, the Miami Dolphins owner, wanted Tom Brady in free agency, which Flores didn't want to do because it would have been tampering. Management wanted to get rid of Flores because they wanted Deshaun Watson, while Flores didn't want him. After they fired Flores, Ross came out and blamed them going after Watson on Flores. Dude, that's too much sports stuff. You're giving me too much sports ball shit, bro. Come on.
Maybe it's call it the audacity of hope. I have a belief that, there's good in people. I just do.
We knew he wasn't getting that job. On the day before that Giants interview, we reached out to you, CBS, to all of you, to start talking about doing this interview today, because we knew he wasn't getting the job. We knew it was a setup. We knew they were just trying to comply with the Rooney Rule. We started drafting the complaint, and here we are.
The Giants say they're pleased and confident in the hiring process. I get the sense from the lawsuit and from you right now that you had a feeling like, here we go again. This wasn't the first time you felt discriminated against in the league. Is that true?
Yeah. The Rooney Rule is intended to, give minorities an opportunity to sit down in front of ownership. But I think what it's turned into is an instance where guys are just checking the box. And that's been the case. I've been on some interviews in the past that where I've had that feeling. There's always no way to know for sure, but And I know I'm not alone there.
To have the Rooney Rule. Isn't that a problem? What were we going to say?
It's absolutely. I'm sorry. It's absolutely a problem. And one of the things that we're doing to help effectuate this change is, You know, the Rooney Rule's tied to the assumption that presidents, owners are going to do the right thing, hire the best, most qualified candidate.
Yeah.
What we want to do is tie, you know, certain things to performance and action through this.
But Brian, the reason the timing is really important here because you're actually up for 2 additional NFL jobs right now.
Yeah.
So why did you do this knowing from your own statement that you may have sacrificed your future in the NFL and you're a young man?
Yeah, well, I mean, I let both the teams know that, you know, we're gonna file. But look, I love coaching. You know, I'm gifted to coach. I know that. And the relationships I've built with players, coaches, support staff, I'm gifted to coach, and I love coaching, and I want to coach.
And I've heard from reliable sources you're a very good coach. Let the
No doubt
record
about
show.
Always room for improvement, but I like to think that as well. But this is bigger than coaching.
Of course.
This is much bigger than coaching.
Now, we'll get back to the lawsuit in regards to the Broncos and the Giants, but I want to talk about the Miami Dolphins for a second. You make claims that you were offered $100,000 for each game this team lose, subsequently to get a better draft pick. Kind of speak on that, because you don't hear about that going on behind closed doors. I'm a former player. I know you as a coach. You want to win.
There's no shot he gets a job after this, right? Like, it's just like the NFL's not rigged. Copium is silly. Like, the NFL is rigged in the sense that, like, teams throwing fucking games is unacceptable. He will definitely be blackballed. Teams throwing games is unacceptable, but like teams playing poorly specifically so they can like get better draft picks, I thought that was like a known thing, right? Owners are good old boys with a fraternity. Same reason why Kaepernick got blackballed. They pay to lose stuff. Will get the most action because of the gambling partnerships. Maybe as a coordinator, but he'll never be a head coach. But he knew that going in, and that's why it's a brave move.
Win. I walk in that locker room. I want to win. I don't hear people from the front office and above making those type of decisions that can change the outcome of your coaching career.
Look, this game's done a lot for me. I grew up not far from here in the projects in Brownsville, Brooklyn. I didn't grow up with a lot. This game, you know, changed my life. So to attack the integrity of the game, that's what I felt was happening in that instance, and I wouldn't stand for it.
And that was Dolphins owner Stephen Ross.
Yes. Yes. So.
And you think it hurt your career?
I think it hurt my standing within the organization, and ultimately was the reason why I was let go.
Well, word on the street now, though, Brian, is that either you torpedoed your career, that this is the craziest thing you could have done, or that it's very brave and very bold of you to do. How are you feeling? Are you?
I mean, he definitely torpedoed his career, and it's also a brave and bold thing to do.
Almost a year. Love you, chat. Hasan, you
Flores also alleges that he interviewed the Broncos in 2019, but John Elway and the owner were drunk as fuck and obviously weren't taking the interview seriously. Another toke interview to satisfy the Rooney Rule.
Peace with your decision, and was this a very difficult decision for you to make to file a lawsuit before you have a job?
I understand the risk, and yes.
Wait, from what I understand, didn't they put a fucking shitty roster together? Okay, look, this is the extent of my sports ball knowledge. But from what I understand, yes, tanking is usually more discreet. Usually it's purposely putting together a shitty roster and having the losses pile up naturally. Except they did that in Florida, and he still fucking coached the shitty roster too well. And that's why he was like, dude, I'll give you more money, allegedly.
It was a difficult decision. And
so they could get better draft picks.
And like I said, I love coaching. I do. It's something that I'm passionate about. It brings me joy. And I love helping young people reach their potential and become the best versions of themselves. I'm gifted to do that.
Brian.
But this is bigger than than that.
I mean, can I just say, in 2022, the fact that we don't have one black owner, we only have one black head coach.
That's actually I want to touch on.
Really, Brian needs to be applauded for stepping forward to be the first person to really contest it. It's been talked about.
Well, you've heard the statement
but now he has stepped forward to challenge it.
You've heard the statement from the NFL, and a statement: diversity is core to everything we do. There are a few issues on which our clubs and our internal teams spend more time on.
Yeah, they've acknowledged their problems. The executives there have acknowledged their problems. Now the PR team is trying to spin something. They could take two different paths. They could take the path of trying to defend and litigate, or we hope that they take the path of actually trying to correct things, to be an example not only...
What is this? Oh my God, is that fucking...
There are a lot of black players, there are a lot of great black baseball men who would dearly love to be in managerial positions. And I guess what I'm really asking you is to, peel it away a little bit. Just tell me, why do you think it is? Is there still that much prejudice in baseball today?
No, I don't believe it's prejudice. I truly believe that they may not have some of the necessities to be, let's say, a field manager or perhaps a general manager.
You really believe that?
Well, I don't say that they're all of them, but they certainly are short. How many quarterbacks do you have? How many pitchers do you have that are black?
Yeah, but I mean, I got to tell you, that sounds like the same kind of garbage we were hearing 40 years ago about players when they were saying, not really cut out. You remember the days, they hit a black football player in the knees, and no, that really sounds like garbage if you forget to say so.
It's not garbage, Mr. Koppel, because I played on a college team, and the center fielder was black. And then the backfield at NYU with...
Yeah, he's got black friends, bro. It's not racist. He played with other black players, dude. Everybody knows you can't be fucking racist if you've been around black people, famously.
The fullback who was black never knew the difference of whether he was black or white. We were teammates. So
what are we supposed to what are we supposed to get out of what he just said? So he knows black people are incapable? Is that what he's saying? He's like, no, it's not garbage. I've been around black people, so I know for a fact that they can't fucking they don't have what it takes to be a general manager. I'm an expert, dude. That's what he's saying. That's his argument. He's just, oh my God.
It just might be that they why are black men or black people not good swimmers? Because they don't have the buoyancy.
Hassle, thankful.
Wait, what?
Father Arjan.
Black people don't have the buoyancy? What the fuck? Are you serious? What the fuck? That is, yo. That's some good old-fashioned, old-school racism, dude. He was like, let me crank up the racism dial to the maximum degree before getting off the show. He was like, I didn't say enough. He's like, I didn't say enough in the beginning part. I think I couldn't make myself clear. Let me just crank it out to 11 before. Oh, fuck. It's in my hand now. I broke it. Oh, God damn it. Yo, his apple pie must taste amazing. Oh, yeah, dude. 100%.
Has Sammy, has high.
That's awesome. That's crazy. Dude, that's a fucking joke from the South related to slave ship jumpers. Holy shit. I can't tell if he's joking or if he unironically believes that black people are more dense and less buoyant and therefore can't swim well, or if he was just straight up making a joke.
Half a year, baby.
Dude, my sister's bio teacher in Missouri said black people have denser bones. This was in 2010. Oh my God.